Now, today, have you heard it? This new proclamation? Have you heard how those nearest to us are to be treated? With the same contempt we reserve for traitors?
No one has told me anything, Antigone. I have heard nothing, neither good nor bad, about anyone we love. Not since the battle, I mean, and the terrible news that both of our brothers were dead.
Thought you had me. That's why I asked you to meet me here, where I can tell you everything with no risk of being overheard.
What is it then? More terrible news? Something black and frightening? I can see that.
We have two brothers, both of them dead. And Creon has decreed that a decent burial shall be given to one, but not the other. Antigone, apparently, has already been buried with full military honors, and all the formalities due to the dead, meticulously observed, so that his rest in the underworld among all the heroes is assured. But Polynices, who died in agony, just as certainly as his brother did, is not to be buried at all. He is to be left lying where he fell with no tears and no ceremonies of mourning to state in the open. Some kites and vultures catch the scent and tear him to pieces and pick him to the bone. Left unburied, there is no rest for him in the underworld. No more than here. What a great king our Creon is. Eh, sister? He's doing this against us, you realize. Against me in particular, he's published his decree. He isn't bluffing. He intends to act to make it stick. The punishment for anyone who disobeys his orders of public stoning to death. So that is the news and you know it now. The time has come for you two to stand up, to be counted with me, to prove that you are worthy of the honor of being Oedipus' daughter.
Wait a minute, Antigone. Don't be so headstrong. If all of this is as you say it is, what can I do, one way or the other?
Say you will help me. Commit yourself.
To do what? Something dangerous?
Just to give me a hand to lift the body. It's too heavy for removal now.
To bury him, you mean? In spite of the decree?
He is my brother. And like it or not, he's yours too.
You must be mad. Creon has publicly forbidden it.
He can't forbid me to love my own brother. He has neither the right or the power to do that.
Have you forgotten what happened to our father? Contempt and loathing from everyone, even from himself. That was his reward. And blinded too, by his own hand. And his mother wife, as ill matched with them as those two were even with each other, she knotted a rope and hung herself. And now our two brothers, both in one day caught in the same trap, claiming blood for blood and death for death, each one at the expense of the other. We are the last ones left, sister. What a death is promised for us. More terrible than any if we break the law by defying the king and the power of the state. Think for a moment, Antigone, please. We are women, that's all. Physically weaker and barred from any political influence. Men are in power and we must obey them. This time, and maybe in worse situations than this. May God forgive me and the spirits of the dead. I have no choice. State power commands, and I must do what I am told. When you are powerless, wild gestures and heroic refusals are reserved for madmen.
Don't say anymore. I won't ask again. In fact, if you were to offer help now, I would refuse it. Do as you please. I intend to bury my brother, and if I die in the attempt, I shall die with the knowledge I have acted justly. Our lives are short. We have too little time to waste it on men and the laws that they make. The approval of the dead is everlasting, and I intend to bask in it as I lie among them. Do as you please. Live by all means. The laws that you will break are not of man's making.
I reverence them, but how can I defy the unlimited power of the state? What weapons of mine are strong enough for that?
Fine. That's a good excuse. I'll go and shuffle the earth on my brother's body.
I'm frightened for you, Antigone. I'm frightened for you.
Don't be frightened for me. Fear for yourself.
There's a fire burning in you, and it makes me go cold just to hear you.
I'm not doing it to please you. It's for him.
This obsession will destroy you, and you're certain to fail.
I shall fail when I have failed, not before.
But you know it's hopeless. Why begin when you know you can't possibly succeed?
Be quiet before I begin to despise you for talking so feebly. Our brother will despise you too, and justly. go now. Go! I'm mad. You could leave me here alone with my madness, which will doubtless destroy me soon enough. Death is the worst thing that can happen, and some deaths are more honorable than others.
If you've made up your mind, Antigone is madness. But remember, I love you, whatever happens.
The life-giving sun has never shone more brightly on the 7 gates of peace than he shines this morning.
After months of blood, our city under siege. Last night, our civil war reached its climax.
Before the final nights of the killing and burning at the 7 gate, 2 brothers met, Antigone our champion, and Polynices, whose best hope of fame was to conquer his native land.
The 2 sons of Oedipus, our most unfortunate king, shared the events as he was.
Each brother struck together. Each brother laid the other dead on the earth. Polynices failed in his quest.
With their leader gone, his army making their panic-stricken flight, and all their bright weapons were gone. There will be victory celebrations today and singing in the streets. Time to dance all night, to shake the foundations, to the faint light of dawn flashes the windows, and the lights fade.
With both brothers gone, Creon is king.
He made the most of his fortune, and the God's choice. As the people rejoice, the new king enters to take his throne, the responsibility his alone.
Our country, like a ship at sea, has survived the hurricane. The gods who sent it have navigated us to calmer waters now. I've chosen the son necessary because I know I can trust you. We're loyal, reliable, when King Oedipus, in his exceptional wisdom, restored the great fortunes of this city. When tragedy struck him, and his rule was ended, your loyalty to the blood royal was never questioned, and you supported his sons till they too were brought down. Each brother shedding a brother's blood. By that same blood right, as next of kin, I claim the throne, and all of its powers, both city and kingdom. I claim it, and hold it from today as mine, by right. There's no certain measure of a man's quality, the depth of his intellect, and the maturity of his judgment, until he is put to the supreme test by the exercise of lawful power in the state. My own opinion is well known. The ruler who fears the consequences of his own actions, or is afraid to act openly, or take the good advice of his officers, is beneath contempt. Equally contemptible is the man who puts the interests of his friends or his relations before his country. And there's nothing good that can be said of him. Let me make it plain, before the gods, whose eyes are in every council chamber, when I see any threat to this nation, from whatever direction, I shall make it public. No man who is an enemy of the state shall ever be a friend of mine. The state is everything. To us the ship we all sail. If she sinks, we all drown. That's my policy. And in pursuance of that policy, I have issued an official state decree concerning the sons of Oedipus. Antigone, who died fighting for his country, and with exceptional bravery, we shall bury him with all the funeral ceremonies and honors customary to a man who died a hero. His brother, the outcast, the exiled Polynices, who returned here at the head of a foreign army to destroy his homeland, burn down his city, reduce his people to a condition of slavery, or kill them in the streets. I've ordered he is to have no grave at all. No one is to bury him or mourn for him. His body is to be left out in the open, uncovered, a stinking feast for the scavengers, dogs, and crows, a sight to inspire terror. I intend to make it quite plain that never under my administration will a man who commits crimes against the state reap the benefits from his actions. For those who serve the state, alive or dead, that makes no difference, shall be rewarded for their patriotism.
You are king now. You have delivered your verdict and sentence upon the man who has defended the city and the man who has attacked it, unambiguously. The full power of law is in your hands. It binds the dead as well as the living. We are all at your disposal.
Make sure that my orders are carried out.
Younger men than us should implement your policies.
I don't mean that. Colonizers' bodies are the other guard.
What else must we do? What other responsibilities will be laid upon us?
Not to intrigue with dissidents or subversive elements,
We are not mad, sir. We know the law and the penalty for breaking it.
which will be death. And be no doubt I shall enforce it. Because there are always men who can be bought, who will risk anything, even death, if the bribe is large enough.
My Lord Creon, sir, if I can hardly speak for lack of breath, it is not because I ran. I kept on stopping as a matter of fact. I hung about half a dozen times. I never thought of anything so much. But then I said to myself, if Lord Creon hears this from someone else, you're surely in trouble. So I hurried here, and in the end, I reckoned it'd be safer to face it out.
Talk sense, man. Why are you frightened?
Well, first of all, sir, for myself, my own point of view, I never done it. And I didn't see who done it neither. So I shouldn't be punished for it, should I?
You take great care to disassociate yourself from what you said. It must be bad news.
It is bad news, sir. I'm so scared. I don't know how to put it for the best.
The plainest way. And then we can have done with you.
Straight out with it then. The body is buried, someone or another. A handful of dust, dry dust. That's all, but properly sprinkled, religiously.
Do you realize what you're saying? Who has dared to disobey my orders?
No way of knowing, sir. We've no idea. There's been no digging, no spade marks, or nothing. The ground's rock hard. Nothing to tell us what has happened. No clues of any kind at all. A real row started then. There was shouting. It could have been a fight. There was no one there to stop us. Any one of us could have done it. We all suspect each other, but we all denied it. And call upon the gods as witnesses we hadn't done it. Then this fella scared us all shitless, he said, and we knew he was dead right. One of us must tell the king, because we can't just hide it, can we? That's what he said, and we knew he was right. So we decided to draw lots, and just my luck, I drew the short straw. So here I am, and I don't like telling it one bit more than you like hearing it. The bloke who brings bad news never gets the medal.
My Lord Creon, this policy of yours has worried me from the start. My political instinct tells me this must be some sort of sign or warning, and perhaps from the gods.
How dare you? Shut your mouths, all of you, before I lose my temper. Is it likely, remotely likely, that the gods would think twice over that pile of stinking meat? My God, it's blasphemy to even suggest that they would give a damn whether he was buried or not, let alone grant him an honorable funeral if he were one of their principal supporters. The man who came to burn down their temples, plunder their treasuries, pull down their statues, and bring destruction and contempt for their land and its laws. Do the gods love criminals these days? No, they do not. But there are men in this city, and I've noted them, a subversive faction, enemies of the state, a set of oppositionists, call them what you will, who reject the law and my leadership. They meet in secret, and nod and whisper this seditious talk, and they're behind us, and you all can see that. Their bribery has supported my soldiers and paid for this demonstration against my authority. Money. Money is a virus that infects mankind with every sickness we have a name for. No greater scourge than that. Money it is that corrupts men into doing things that they would be ashamed to think of before the fee was mentioned, until there's no crime that can't be bought, and in the end brings them to the execution chamber. No, these men who have sold themselves will find the price considerably higher than they thought it was. You, soldier, come here. By Zeus, my God, whose power I revere, I swear to you, soldier, that either you'll find the man who buried Polynices' body, the actual man who sprinkled the earth, no other will do, standing here in front of me, or you, soldier, will die for it. And death, I promise you, will be the least of your punishments. The choice is yours.
Am I allowed to speak, sir?
No, why should you speak? Every word you say is painful to me.
Maybe. But I didn't bury the body. Not guilty to that, sir.
But maybe guilty of looking the other way for cash?
I think it's a shame, sir, that such a well-educated and intelligent man such as yourself should miss the point so completely.
I'm not interested in your opinions. If you fail to find this enemy of the state and bring him here to me, you'll learn that money from whichever source will certainly not save your life.
Let's hope they find him, whoever he is. But one thing I'm sure of, they won't find me. I never thought I'd get out of here alive, and when I do get out, nothing will bring me back.
Is there anything more wonderful on earth than the miracle of man?
The quick-witted birds are no match for him, neither victim nor predator among the beasts is plain, nor the sea-seething masses. His cunning surpasses their instinct. His skill is the greater. His snares never fail, and his nets teem.
The wild bull of the savage mountain, the magnificent stag who passes like a king through upland and glen, the untamed horse with matted tresses uncut on his neck, all submit to man, and the yoke and the bit, and his power increases.
There is no problem he cannot resolve by the exercise of his brains or his breath. The only disease he cannot solve or cure is death.
In action, he is subtle beyond imagination, limitless in his skills, and these gifts are both enemies and friends, as he applies them with equal determination to good or to evil ends.
But wait! I can't believe my eyes! Can this be true? This is Antigone! I recognize her as clearly as I can see you!
Her father's destiny was suffering and pain, and on her progeny, misfortune's bane.
Child, did you openly disobey the new king's order and bury your brother?
We saw it, actually burying the body. Caught him in the act, as they say, red-handed. Only it's not a him, it's a her. Where's the king?
Just returning now, when he's most needed.
Saw the noise. If I look at things, we'll not hear a moment too soon. What has happened?
Lord Creon, I reckon it's always unwise to swear oaths and make promises, even to yourself. So here I am, again, as the comic said, and my promise is not worth the air they were spoken with. This girl is your criminal. We caught her doing it, actually setting the grave to rights. So I brought her here, and there was no panic this time, no recriminations or drawing lots. This job was all mine. I caught her, and I'm here to claim the credit for it. So take her and accuse her, stone her to death if you like. By rights, I'm free to go. Hell shot of all of it.
Where did you arrest her? Tell me the details.
Sir, she was burying him. What else is there to say?
Are you out of your mind? Do you realize the implications of what you say?
She was burying the body. The body you specifically told her not to bury. I can't speak more plain than that.
Did you catch her in the act? Did you see her doing it?
As soon as I got back, remembering all those threats or promises you made me, we brushed all the earth off the naked body, all wet and beginning to decay by now. We sat upon the ridge, well windward of the stake. The sun was smack overhead, blazing down, and the heat was something terrible, I can tell you. Then it was as though a dust storm blew up, definitely a twister it was, blew all the leaves off the trees, blotted out the whole sky, and completely blinded us. Then suddenly it stopped, and when the sky cleared, we opened our eyes, and we saw this girl standing there, sort of wailing as though she were in pain. She was standing over the body, screaming and cursing the monsters who had done such a thing. Us, of course. She crouched down, picked up a few handfuls of dust, and sprinkled it on them. She carried with her an urn, a small ceremonial bronze thing, which she poured from 3 times over the body. Honey and wine and stuff in it, I suppose. All the proper rituals for a funeral. Anyway, as soon as we saw that, we came charging down and arrested her on the spot. She wasn't frightened or anything. She stood her ground. So we formally charged her with the crime, this one and the one before. She admitted she had done them both.
And you with your head down. What do you say to this accusation? Do you admit it? Are you guilty or not?
Yes, I'm guilty. I don't pretend otherwise.
Soldiers, get out. You're cleared of all charges against you. You're free to go back to your units. Now tell me a simple yes or no. Did you hear of my order forbidding the burial?
Of course I heard it. How could I not?
And yet you dared to disobey the law.
Yes, I did. Because it's your law, not the law of God. Natural justice, which is of all times and places numinous, not material, equality of Zeus, not of kings, recognizes no such law. You are merely a man, mortal like me. The laws that you enact cannot overturn ancient moralities or common human decencies. They speak the language of eternity, are not written down, never changed. They're for today, yesterday, and all time. No one understands where they came from, but everyone recognizes their force, and no man's arrogance or power can make me disobey them. I would rather suffer the disapproval and punishment of men than dishonor such ancient truths. I shall die, of course, sometime, whether you make laws or not. If my death comes sooner rather than later, I shall welcome it. My life has been misery. It's misery now, and I will be more than happy to leave. There will be no pain and no dishonor in that. To leave my mother's son out there in the open, unburied, that would have been unendurable. I could not afford it. Whereas this, I shall endure. Your judgment, of course. I'm a fool. But my mind is the judge, not the accused who's behaving foolishly.
This is her father speaking. Stubborn like him, she won't give way, not even with the whole power of the state against her.
Oh, we shall see. Any man can be broken, and often the most committed and determined breaks suits. Even I, left lying in the fire too long, becomes over-tempered. It will snap as soon as a little pressure is applied. You can break it into pieces. People without power, ordinary citizens, must necessarily obey those in authority over them. This woman is very proud. That was obvious in the first place when she broke the law, and is even clearer now. She glories in this crime she has committed, and insults me to my face, as well as ignoring my decree. If she's allowed to flout the law in this way, all authority in the state will collapse. I will not have that. There'll be no exchanging of roles here. Me playing the woman, while she plays the king. She is my niece, my sister's child, but I am the law, and that responsibility is above kinship. Were she even close to my own daughter, perhaps my duty would be plain. Law has its weapons, and they'll strike at her and her sister too, I've no doubt, her accomplice in this illegal act, to the full extent of the punishment prescribed. The other one is Mene. Bring her here. We saw her in the corridor, talking to herself and sobbing like a mad woman. Guilty conscience, you see, can never be hidden complete. Human face reveals conspiracies before they're enacted again and again. But there is nothing more disgusting than the confessed criminal who tries to justify his own actions, as this woman has done here today.
More do you want? Kill me and have done with it.
Nothing more than your death, that will be enough.
And what are you waiting for? Nothing you say will be of the slightest interest to me, and my arguments you will not listen to. I've done what I said I'd do. I buried my brother, and I aspire to no greater honor, and if I'm to be famous, let it be for that. All of these officers of yours, they all agree with me in their hearts. But there is no gag like terror, is there? And tyrants must have their way, both in word and action. That's their privilege.
You are quite mistaken. None of the Thebans anywhere in the city thinks as you do.
They all do.
Not
They keep
all.
their mouths shut when you're here.
You should be ashamed, setting yourself up against the majority and disregarding the will of the people.
I love my brother. I honor him dead as I loved him living. There's no shame in that.
And the one he murdered, wasn't he your brother?
My mother bore them both, and I loved them both.
If you honor one, you insult the other.
Neither of those dead men would say that.
The deeply so. His brother was a traitor. Does he merit no greater respect than that?
But he was not an animal. They both died together, and they were both men.
Yes, and the one died defending his country, whilst the other one treacherously attacked it.
The dead have their rights, and we have our duties to them, dictated by common decency.
And the good and bad are to be honored equally. Where are our values? Patriotism, civic duty.
Death is another country. Such things may not be valued there, may even be crimes.
An enemy is still an enemy, dead or alive.
I was born with love enough to share. No hate for anyone.
Very well. Share your love by all means. Share with the dead, I wish them otherwise. Women must learn to obey, as well as men. They can have no special treatments. Law is law, will remain so while I am alive. And until then, no woman will get the better of me.
Look, his mandate. We weep for her sister. Her face is wrong with tears, plagued with misery.
And you, snake, slithering silently about my house to drink my blood in secret, both of you the same. I look the other way, and like terrorists you laid undercover plans to destroy me. Will you two confess your complicity in this crime, or protest your innocence?
Yes, I confess, if she will allow me to say so. I was fully involved, and if she is guilty, so am I.
No, that isn't justice. When I asked you for your help, you refused me, and so I told you I didn't want you, that I'd do it alone.
But now that you're in danger, Antigone, I'm proud to stand beside you in the dock.
The dead man knows who buried him. You are people who are all words and no action.
Please, my sister, don't despise me. Let me share the honor and die with you.
No right to claim the honor for doing what you were afraid to do. One death will be enough. Why should you die?
Because life without you won't be worth living.
Ask Creon to protect you. He is your uncle.
Do I deserve such contempt? Do you enjoy making fun of me, sneering at my misery?
You're right. It's a reflection of my own pain if such bitter pleasures are all I have left.
It's not too late. Let me help you then.
You chose to live when I chose to die, and that's the end of it.
But I wasn't afraid to speak. I warned you this would happen. I knew how it would be.
And the majority would agree with you. But some would be of my opinion.
But we're both in the wrong. We're both condemned.
You must live. I have been dead for a long time. Inwardly. I'm well suited to pay honor to the dead and to die for it.
These women are neurotic lunatics, both of them. One of them going off her head before her eyes, and the other one born unbalanced.
Well, are you surprised? Anyone would craft the most tough-minded person under such treatment.
You lost your senses when you allowed yourself to be influenced by her lunacy.
But there is no life for me here. Not without my sister.
Don't speak of her. She's as good as dead.
Will you kill the woman your son plans to marry?
There are other women. No like a choice for a young man. Other fields to plow.
They're devoted to each other. You can't change love as you change your clothes.
No son of mine can marry a criminal.
Oh, Haman, when you hear how your father insults you.
Let him hear. What's this mistress matter to me?
Lord Creon, you insult your own. They're formerly betrothed. Will you tear them a woman from your own son's arms?
Death parts our lovers, sooner or later.
The poor child's doom. Her death warrant sealed and deliberate.
By you all, as well as by me. You heard me. Agreed it with me, if only by your silence did you not, before the criminal was known. Take them away. Lock them up and keep them under close guard. It's timely understood that they are women in the proper place in this society. And there's nothing like the immediate threat of death to make them look reality in the face.
On every descendant of the ancient line of Oedipus divine and merciless retribution falls. In the unremembered past, the cold hands of the dead reach out to the living, and no one is spared.
Another generation shreds its blood, new life snuffed out, the young prepare for the same bloody acts, the sin of Oedipus, the arrogance for the bleak heart of sin.
For all men hope, and some have ambition. Far into first and never tire. To the faith burn under his feet, and the once solid wood of his life is reduced to its last condition, ashes and dust.
A wise man said, when a man commits crime and is proud of the action, a flaming sword hangs over his head. No future but a grave and a funeral urn.
Creon, here comes your youngest son. Is he desperate with grief that his future bride should be so brutally denied and all his hopes of happiness gone?
My dear son, I don't doubt you've heard of the news of our final decision. The condemnation of the woman you intended to marry. You come, I hope, not with any spirit of anger against your father, but understanding that we are always comrades, and my love for you is unshaken.
I know I am your son, Father. I understand your depth of experience in matters of state, and I try to follow and benefit from it whenever I can. Any marriage would be worthless to me that did not have the approval and love.
Good fellow, hang on to that. Father's opinion should always be influential with his sons. Fathers with young sons, when they pray for them, ask especially that they should grow up to be loyal, obedient, the first to strike at their father's enemies, just as they're the first to support his friends. Don't be taken in, boy. Don't let any woman ensnare you by exploiting her sexuality, or any of the attractions that lure infatuated men into submission. God help the lovesick fool who marries a dominating woman. Passion never lasts. In a cold bedroom brings cold hearts, anger, and bitterness. So there's no hatred so violent as the hatred of two people who were once in love. Get rid of her, my boy, this girl. Spit her out like poison. Let her find herself a husband that suits her among the dead. Don't deceive yourself. She's been openly apprehended performing a criminal act against the state. And if I were to spare her life, I too betray the state, its laws, and everything I stand for. I will not do. In times of war, in national danger, the well-drilled regiment that asks no questions stands firm, knows nothing, and needs to know nothing, and thus wins, saving the lives of millions of honest people. Authority is essential in any state, and it will be upheld in this one by me. There will be no yielding to female fantasies, not so much as by an inch. If we must be opposed, my lord, let it be by a man's hand, not by a conspiracy of women.
If an old man is fit to judge, Lord Creon, you have spoken rationally, sensibly, and with the wisdom gathered from long experience.
Father, the most enviable of man's gifts is the ability to reason clearly. And it's not for me to say you are wrong, even if I were clever enough or experienced enough, which I'm not, but it's also true to say that some men think differently about these things. And as your son, my most useful function, it seems to me, is to keep you in touch with what other people are thinking, what they say and do and approve of or disapprove of, and sometimes what is left unsaid. Father, the prospect of your disapproval is a great silencer of most men's tongues, and some things are never said for fear of the consequences. But I can sometimes hear what is whispered behind people's hands, and everywhere I hear sympathy expressed for this unfortunate girl, condemned as she is to a horrifying death no woman here has suffered before, and unjustly in most people's eyes. In Burr, her brother, who was killed in action, she did something most people consider decent and honorable, instead of leaving him naked in the battlefield with the dogs and kites and scavengers to pick to the bone. She should even have been for it. And those same people say in her name inscribed on the roll of honor. Such things have been whispered in secret, Father, and they've reached my ears. Sir, your reputation matters to you as much as your good health and happiness. Indeed, your good name matters more. What can a loving son be more jealous of his father's reputation? What could please a father more than to see his son's concern that people think well of him? And we beg you, Father, we beg you to have second thoughts and not be so certain that your opinion is the only right one and that all men share it. The man who believes that he has the monopoly of wisdom, and what he says and what he thinks is of any relevance, reveals his own shallowness of mind with every word he says. The man of judgment knows that it is a sign of strength, not weakness, to value others' opinions, and when he is wrong, to admit it openly and to change his mind. Please, Father, think twice about this. Don't let your anger influence you. If a man of my age may lay some small claim to common sense, let me say this. Absolute certainty is fine. If a man can be certain that his wisdom is absolute, but such certainty in such wisdom is rare among men, and that being so, the next best thing to do is to learn to listen and to take good advice when it is offered.
There's a lot of sense, my Lord Creon, in what this young man has said, as indeed there is in everything that you have said too. The fact is, you are both in the right, and there is good deal to be said for either.
Is there indeed? Am I expected to listen and take lessons in political tactics at my age from a mere boy?
I am a man, Father. My arguments are just. They stand upon their merits, not my age.
They stand upon their merits, do they? Please tell me, what merits are there in breaking the law?
If she'd done something shameful, I wouldn't defend her.
She's brought the law into contempt. That's shameful.
Listen to the people in the street, Father, the ordinary Thebans. They say she hasn't.
I've never based my political principles on the opinions of people in the street.
Now you're the one speaking like a boy.
I'm speaking like a king. It's my responsibility, and I'll act according to my own convictions.
When the state becomes one man, it ceases to be a state.
The state is the statesman who rules it. It reflects his judgment, and it belongs to him.
Go rule in a desert then. There's no one there to argue with you. When a king, you'll be there.
This boy of mine is on the woman's side.
If you are a woman, I am. I'm on your side, Father. I'm fighting for you.
Every word you have said is against me. Your own father.
When I know you are wrong, I have to speak.
How am I wrong? I'm maintaining my position and the authority of the state. Is that wrong?
With position and authority ride roughshod over moral feeling.
You're weak and uxorious and contemptible with no will of your own. Your woman's mouthpiece.
I'm not ashamed of what I've said.
Every word you have said pleads for her cause.
I plead for you and for myself and for common humanity, respect for the dead.
You'll never marry that woman. She won't live long enough to see the
If
dead.
she dies, she won't die alone. There'll be two deaths, not one.
Are you threatening me? How dare you?
No, that's not a threat. I'm telling you, your policy has been misbegotten from the beginning.
If anything's misbegotten here, it's my son. You're with friends, I promise.
If you weren't my father, I'd say you demented.
Don't bother me! Your woman's plaything, a tame lapdog.
Is anyone else allowed to speak? Must you have the last word in everything? Must the rest of us all be gagged?
And I will. And you, I promise you, will regret what you have spoken next year. I will not be contradicted or sneered at by anyone. Sons can be punished. Bring her out. Let her die, here and now, with the bridegroom beside her as a witness. You can watch the execution.
That's one sight I shall never see. Not from this moment, Father, will you ever see me again. And for those who wish to watch the execution, in company with a madman, are welcome to.
Lord Creon, in uncontrollable fury, has possessed your son and swept him off like a whirlwind. A young man's anger is a terrifying thing.
Let him go and shout his head off about moral this and decent that till he raves himself senseless. The 2 women are sentenced. It'll take more than bluster to reprieve them, I promise you.
Both of them, sir? You mean to put both of the sisters to death?
No, you're right. I can take advice. The one who buried the body, not the other.
And for the condemned one, what manner of death?
Take her to some lonely place, rocky and unfrequented by anyone. Find a cave and wall her up in it. Bury her alive, but with just enough food that no guilt for her death will fall upon either us or the state. She'll have plenty of time to honor the gods of the dead then, since they received so many of her prayers. They'll release her. And she'll learn that worshipping the dead is not the business of the living.
When the gods of unbridled passion makes war, he always wins. No force on earth can withstand his powerful, merciless hands. The gods themselves run mad. Men lose their wits, and no one is spared. What else could provoke this strife? Between father and son, this family divided, and murderous anger between kin? There's a fire in a woman's eye, incited by such consuming heat, a man's mind can burn.
Yet how can we help with justice and the needs of the state as we stand and watch this unendurable sight?
In all my wanderings, gentlemen, this place has been my home. I was born in the city. Now I begin my final journey. I look up at the sun and its familiar sky and feel its warmth on my face only to say goodbye. The cold waters of darkness we come, never to return across that silent river. No wedding for me, no music, no guests in the room. My wedding gift is eternity in a stone tomb.
But your action is famous, and every street mouths whisper. You go down to the dead with a promise of glory ringing in your head.
You remember the sad story of Tantalus' daughter? She was a stranger, like me, in danger like mine. And there was no glory for her. Only the endless shock of the elements, and the terrible place where she was imprisoned in the mountains embraced like fingers of ivy tying her down. The bitter tears she shed as the gray rock slowly petrified her by inches, and she turned to stone and she died. Her story is mine.
But she was a goddess, not born for death, to assuage your pain, to share your destiny, or soften your distress, to live on in legend and stone.
This is a mockery. By everything the city of our fathers has ever held sacred, my dying is no joke. And forests and rivers and our Theban rivers ceaselessly flowing, my only friends and mourners as victimized by an unjust law, I go to my final home. To wait while slow darkness descends, cold and starving on my stony bed, halfway between the living and the dead.
No one has ever dared to go so far before as you have dared to go.
Nothing more painful than that. The remembrance of my father's long agony, and the curse of my suffering family from the beginning. So much grief in the unlucky chance of the son finding the mother's bed, and worse than anything, the desperate offspring of that unspeakable marriage. I share that terrible destiny. Conceived in incest, no repentance can soften the punishment. The years pass, the agonies increase, and there is no pity for our tears. No marriage for me for certain. I shall close that book forever. The weddings will cease.
To pay respect to the dead is praiseworthy, an act of love. But no civilized state can be obeyed, whether we approve or disapprove.
Spare me your sympathy. Weep no false tears. I know the path that I must follow to the sunless country of eternal sorrow. The bleak waters of eternity, the unimaginable years. no grief where none is felt. I shall go alone and in silence to my house of stone.
Death could be prevented by singing arias about it, or other self-indulgent displays of grief. This performance will go on forever, I have no doubt. But I've had enough of it. Take her away. Lock her up in her stone vault, fasten a mountain for a roof, then brick up the door. Let her die there if she chooses, or if she prefers, let her stay alive in her grave. Why not? Either way, there will be no guilt on me or on the state. Her death's heroic, but there is no place for her among the living.
My grave then, my honeymoon bed, my prison, my crypt under the mountain, my home for the rest of time. I shall meet so many of my relations there. My father will be there to greet me at the door. My mother will smile and hug me close as she always did. And my brother. He will be glad to see me, more than all the rest. At each fresh grave I sprinkled the earth. At each I poured the purifying water and made offerings. And for my broken Polynices, whose body I set to rest, I am rewarded with a shameful death. There are some I know, more thoughtful people who respect my action. They must justify me. Not for a husband, understand, not even for a son would I have done this. If the law had forbidden it, I would have bowed my head and let them rot. I could have married again, another husband, and had more children by him if the first had died. Do you see? Do you understand me? But my mother and father are dead. There will be no more brothers, never again. My luck had to speak of Polynices' grave or nowhere. And for that terrible crime, my dearest brother Creon sentenced me to death. Drive me here, and will shut me away in a cavern under the mountain, a living death, in silence, in darkness, in solitude. I shall die unmarried. All those pleasures denied me, my motherhood denied too. No children to love me, to love, and now no friends. What moral law have I broken? What eternal truths have I denied? Yet now not even a God can help me. And there's no man who will, I'm certain of that. No help and no hope. How can there be when common decency has become a crime? If the gods in heaven have changed their minds, and this is the way that they order things now, I shall soon know it. And I will have learned my lesson the hard way. But if some others are mistaken, let them be punished as I have been punished, and suffer the injustice that I suffer.
She hasn't changed even now. The anger inside her still blows like a hurricane.
As soon as she's got rid of, shut up, out of harm's way and forgotten the better. Guards, get a move on or you'll regret it.
That word is my death.
And now to spoken. Don't comfort yourself with hope. There is none. Go.
This is the land of my fathers. Thebes, built by a god. See, my time has run out. There is no more left. I am the last of the royal blood, a daughter of kings. And I died his victim, unjustly, for upholding the justice and humanity of humankind.
Fate has its own momentum. When things must be, they will be. But what use is the power of the state for wealth, massive armies, and a sinkable fleet? The gods make their entrance by strength or stealth, and no tombs or towers can keep them out.
The sleep of reason is not like this, but another kind of light.
Man's fate is determined, will not be denied. The child Antigone pays for the parents' crime.
citizens of Thebes, and your new king, Creon, we have traveled together, my boy and I, sharing one pair of eyes between the two of us, which is the way blind men must do their journeys.
Tiresias, what news brings you so far?
Important news that cannot wait, and advice, which, if you are wise, you'll listen to.
I've always listened, and acted upon it more than once.
And like a sensible captain who values his pilot, you've avoided the rocks.
I admit it. We all do. We're in your debt.
Then for God's sake, listen to me. Like a man balancing on a razor, likely to fall or be cut to pieces.
Any man would shudder hearing such things from your lips, that have foretold so many horrors. Please tell me what you mean.
Oh yes, I intend to. Everything in my experience of forecasting the future and understanding symbols revealed to me, I shall make clear to you. I was sitting in my usual spot, a place where I could hear the singing, the secret language of the birds and understand their meaning, when I heard, quite unexpectedly, a terrible sound. It was like shrieking or cries of anguish, the hysteric twittering and whistling. It was like a babble of a barbaric language only capable of expressing pain or hatred. By that and the wild beating of wings, I knew the birds were at war. Such sounds could mean nothing else. I could well imagine their blood-stained beaks and dripping claws, and the thought disturbed me greatly. At once I went to the altar to see what I could learn, sacrifice by fire, but nothing would burn. A filthy liquid ran from the flesh and dropped onto the embers and sizzled and bubbled among the ashes. And then the gallbladder burst, spurting stinking acid across the meat and melting the fat and rendering it down till the bone was left bare. I saw all this, or well, my boy saw it, as he sees from me what I cannot, just as I see things which others are blind to. But in that film, I read nothing. The oracle was clogged with filth and decay, and then it was revealed to me. I understood that you, King Creon, have decreed this filth that chokes our altars. The blood and flesh that stinks and decays there is the blood and flesh vomited from the guts of dogs and carrion crows, the blood of Polynices, the flesh of that unluckiest of the sons of Oedipus, still unburied and affronting more than our sense of smell. The gods are disgusted. They reject our prayers and sacrifices. How could they do otherwise? How could the birds sing of anything but horrors blown out from this banquet of human blood, stinking and decaying till their very beaks drip with it? Listen to me. Any man can make a mistake or commit a crime, but if he can see what he has done, see he was mistaken or morally wrong, admit it and put it right, then he proves that it is never too late to become wise, and no one will condemn him. But if instead he compounds his stupidity with stubbornness and obstinate refusal to face the facts, then he is nothing but a fool. Is there anything stupider than the stupid man who cannot recognize his own stupidity? Polynices is dead. Do not revenge yourself on his remains. You can kill a man once and once only. Is there any glory to be gained from defeating a poor corpse? This is good advice from someone who wishes you well. Take it.
So that's your advice, is it? I'm to be the target for everyone to shoot at. But I'm wise too. Wise to the way of fortune tellers and a fine in selling you all go in for. And I'm to be the latest bargain I see. Let me tell you this, Tiresias. A man can fall. He can fall like a stone, especially if he pretends to give good advice, then wraps it in the profound cloak of religiosity, when all the time naked self-interest in the greed for profit or the only motives that matter to him.
Are there any wise men left?
Anywhere?
How profound. You have any more thunderous platitudes to follow that one?
Mature judgment cannot be bought. No treasure is as valuable, and good advice is worth more than a fortune to any man.
And bad advice is worse than worthless. A disease which infects the wisest of men.
You describe your own symptoms exactly.
I refuse to become involved in a slanging match or quarrel with the recognized prophet of Thebes.
Yet you insult me to my face. You say my predictions are both false and dishonest.
That's because all fortune tellers are money grubbers and charlatans.
Two have been known to be acquisitive.
Do you realize the man you're talking to? I am the king.
You are the king, yes. My good advice helped make you one.
You've had your successes. I know that. You've been proved right on more than one occasion, but honesty's another matter. I've never trusted you.
Do not provoke me to tell you everything. The dark waters of prophecy are better left undisturbed.
Disturb them, I don't care. Say anything at all, but say it honestly, not for cash.
Are you really foolish enough to believe that money has ever been my motive?
Because my integrity is not for sale.
Listen here, Creon. This is the truth. Before many more days, before the sun has risen, let's say a few more times, you have made your payment, corpse for corpse, with a child of your own blood. You have buried the one still living, the woman who moves and breathes. You have given to the grave, while the dead man is left unwept, unwashed, and without the common courtesy of a decent covering of earth, so that both have been wronged, and the gods of the underworld, to whom the body justly belongs to, have been denied and are insulted. You usurp rights which not even ancient gods dare question. Powers which are not in the prerogative of kings. Even now, implacable avengers are on their way. Furies that rise up from hell and swoop down from heaven and fix their hooks onto those who commit crimes and will never let go. The suffering you have inflicted upon others will be inflicted upon yourself. You will suffer as they have. Am I speaking for money now? Do you think? Have I been bribed? Before very long, and yes, it will be soon, there will be screaming in this house, bitter tears, crying, men as well as women, cities and states will look to you for the crime you have committed. Dogs and vultures will swarm the streets, dropping fragments of the unburied man at corners, doorstops, public squares, and they will smell the pollution and turn to you, its author. That is all I have to say. You have made me quite angry, Creon, with your crude accusation, and so I will make you my target. And like a good marksman, I always hit the bull. Take me home. Leave him to entertain some younger ears than mine with his ridiculous outbursts. Either that, or have him learn mature judgment and how a wise man controls his tongue.
My lords are gone, promising nothing but disasters to come.
My mind's torn apart like a tug of war. One way, then the other. How can I stand here, waiting stubbornly like a fool for whatever disaster may be coming?
No, Creon.
It's time to take good advice.
Give it then. Don't be afraid, I'll listen.
Release the woman from her underground burial
And give honorable burial to the dead man.
So that's your advice, is it? Total collapse. Complete withdrawal. Do you all think that?
We do, sir, and do it quickly, for heaven's sake. The gods move faster than would punish men with the consequences of their own actions.
How can I do it? It's unendurable to deny every principle and every action I stood fast by. And I dare not stand against the iron laws of necessity.
Do it now.
With your own hands.
Yes. I'll go myself at once. Somebody, everybody bring spades and sledgehammers out onto the mountain. I'm coming with you. If I've changed my mind, I'll act upon it with the exact same determination. I sentenced her, and I'll set her free. Tear down the bricks with my own hands if necessary. Perhaps it is wise to let the old law stand. My fear tells me it is, and that's a voice that a prudent man has listened to.
Great gods with many names.
Bacchus, Dionysus.
This is your native city where the quiet water rivers the meadows.
Now in your city, another disaster threatens. Fear locks up our tongues like a plague.
Come to us, healer, and heal. We have suffered too long.
Listen, no man's life ever moves smoothly, according to plan. Who can make judgments? Say this is praiseworthy human existence, and this is to be despised. When chance rules everything, one moment a man rises high on his fortune, in the same moment he crashes to the depths. Luck, like the tide, is certain to ebb after the flow. No man can tell what will happen tomorrow. Everyone surely envied Creon. He had saved his country from its enemies, taken power as king, and his position in the state was unchallenged. What's more, he ruled well with a firm hand, and his son was at his side to help him succeed him. All that is over now. What life can there be when the things that make life joyful are all destroyed? A kind of death, moving and breathing, but not living. That's how it is for him. Of course he's rich, beyond accounting. He's a king still, with all the pomp and circumstance that rank implies. But what's it worth when all the joy is gone? A shadow, a mockery, a vulgar pageant. Who can take pleasure in wealth or power when all the happiness is dead in his heart?
More tragedy for the family? Tell us the news.
They're both dead, and the living must take the blame.
Who killed them?
The king's son, Haman. Royal blood shed by royal hand.
His father, you mean, or his own?
His own held the sword, but his father's actions drove it home.
The prophet warned us, and it all came true.
That's how it is. It's in your hands now.
The doors are opening. Look, it is Lucy. Poor woman, Creon's wife. Does she know? Do you think?
Good friends. My ears caught something of what you were saying as I opened the door. I was on my way to offer prayers to Palace Athene when I heard a few scraps of her conversation, enough to make me fear what all mothers fear: an accident or some disaster to this love. I was fainting. Please, speak down, plainly, whatever it is. I'm weary. I've heard the suicide in this family.
Dear Queen, whom we all respect, I was there. I saw it all, and I'll tell you exactly what happened. There's no point in trying to soften the blow now, only to be proven a liar later. It's best to tell the truth. I went with the king, your husband, to the edge of the battlefield, where we saw the body of Polynices, still lying where he fell and in a terrible state. The dogs had napped him, so we washed him, or what was left of him, with holy water, cut fresh branches to make a pyre, and burned the remains. Then we shoveled a mound of some even earth over the ashes. After that, we hurried off to the prison cell furnished with stones. But before we arrived, one of the soldiers, with the unenviable job of guarding that God-forsaken place, came running back to tell the king that he heard a terrible noise, like screaming, coming from inside the mountain. And as Creon got near, he heard it too, faint but audible, a kind of moaning or sobbing, low and unearthly, as though grief were speaking in its own naked language. The king groaned aloud, and we all heard him say, "Oh God, this is what I was afraid of. Am I a prophet too? You, quickly, guards, anybody, get in there, squeak between the rocks, where somebody has already forced an entrance, and tell me if it is my son's voice I recognize, or whether the gods are playing some brutal game with me." So we went in and looked, as the half-crazed king had told us to, and there we saw her, strung up by the neck, hanging from an improvised rope of twisted linen strips torn from her own dress. Right beside her was Haman, clawing her body, sobbing broken-heartedly at his wife's death and the marriage bad luck, and his father's cruelty to make certain would never take place. When Creon saw them, he staggered into the cave, groaning like an animal and sobbed aloud. My boy, my poor boy, what have you done? Come away from there, my son. Come out for God's sake, please. I'm begging you, come away. But the boy just looked at him, and his eyes were terrifying, like an anger I've never seen before. Without a word, he spat in his father's face and lunged straight for your husband. But Creon was quick and skipped out of distance, and the poor lad, hysterical with grief and self-disgust, held his sword at arm's length and plunged it between his ribs. Then, still conscious, he lifted her into the crook of his arm and cradled her there in his own blood. His breathing got harder and shorter as his life flooded away before our eyes, like a fountain, so that her white cheeks flushed red again with the blood stains. So now they're together. Two corpses joined in death. They look like honeymooners, quietly sleeping side by side in one bed. Evidence of the havoc man can bring upon man by his own pig-headedness and arrogance.
His wife has gone without a word, giving no indications of her own feelings, one way or the other.
A public demonstration of grief would be unlike her. She'll suffer like any other mother, in private, with her women. She'd never do anything foolish or indiscreet, I'm sure of that.
That sort of silence is sometimes more threatening than screaming in tears.
I'll go in after.
Look, the king is coming, but not alone. A silent witness walks before him, dead as stone, unspeaking evidence that the crime, like the grief, is all his own.
There was a hatred inside me. The urge to destroy, drove me to maniac. Insane touch puts death. Your death, my boy. There is no blame for it now. Lastly, in the morning of your life, my hope, my joy, my hands powered the knife, and my arrogance determined your fate.
You see the truth now, but you see it too late.
Suffering is the only school teacher. The gods have taken my back and destroyed my self-respect. Man is a naked, mortal creature. Affliction is all we can expect.
My lord, you have suffered enough, but more suffering is marked to your name. One agony lies here in the open. Another is waiting. The same anguish redoubled behind the door.
There can be nothing worse. My heart is broken.
Your wife is dead, the mother of this slaughtered son. Her wound is fresh, but the breath of life is gone.
You kill me too, or bring me to my knees to suffer insensibly with pain. What can you say, messenger of death? More than the sad fates you've said already. Can it be no worse than it is? Can you kill me again? First the son, then the mother. Is there no end to this grief?
There's no hiding it now. See it for yourself.
This is the second time I am forced to see what no man's eyes should ever see. Even once. Is this how it ends? Or will there be more torture? More suffering? A few moments ago, my trembling arms embraced the dead son. Now death has snatched the mother from my hands.
It was there by the household shrine she collapsed, still holding the razor-sharp knife. By his empty bed she wept, and for her son's life who ended today, cursed you as his murderer, who drove him to this death.
She spoke the truth. All the guilt is mine. I'm the murderer, make that plain. Somebody, anybody, take me away. I disgrace the decent light of day. I am nothing. I have become nothing. Nothing can happen to a man who's nothing.
How can we judge for the best in times like this? Prompt action is safest. What more is there to lose?
Where are you, my friend? Come wrap me in darkness. Why waste another day? What good is daylight to me? Why should my misery darken the face of another dawn? Hold down the blinds.
Tomorrow is a mystery. No man can say what time will make plain. We live day by day. The future is in greater hands than ours.
I'm nothing. My last, simplest prayers.
No time for prayers now.
Too late to pray.
What must come?
Welcome.
Tomorrow or today.
I'm nothing. Take me then. The man you killed without knowing it, his wife, and his son. Where should I go? Left or right? All wrong turns now. Into night, darkness, height. There's blood on my hands. My head is split. My back is broken. I should be dead.
The key to human happiness is to nurture wisdom in your heart.
For man to attend to man's business and let the gods play their part.
Above all, to stand in awe
Of the eternal, unalterable law.
Everything but himself.
In the end, the gods will bring him to grief.